Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the things we did not get to during the course of the show today, including we have people come by that listen to the podcast from time to time. And today it is our favorite Canadiens, the Clausens! John and Elizabeth Clausen, they are the only Canadiens that I have liked for a lot of years, and they are fantastic. Now, I did meet another Canadian guy that I liked. His name's Brad. Do you know him?
No.
Okay.
Canada's a big country.
Is it? Okay, I didn't know. I figured you guys all knew everybody.
Dad bods stick together, right?
Yes, exactly. So I played his stomach at an event, but he was like, I'm Canadian. I hope you don't.
It's not happening today.
Okay. All right, John. Up to you. It could be fun, but whatever. So we haven't seen you guys in a while now. How you were mentioning that you came down to America from Canada, the Great White North there, and you're like, oh, no mask. Like, is COVID still like a thing over there real much?
It's a big deal.
Here, lean in real quick. I want to hear you.
It's a big deal. Yeah, there's huge debates going on as we speak.
Still.
And a lot of emotion spilling over. Yeah.
Really? Because I know you guys had the trucker strike thing that like actually came down into our country a little bit. And,
domestic terrorists.
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, there were a lot of people that were like, COVID has been so polarizing in the States, and we just assume you guys all get along with each other in Canada, but I guess not. Not anymore.
Now we're American.
Yes, exactly. Welcome to it, revolution.
And mark your calendar. There's the trucker reunion in February. They got it scheduled.
Really?
They're going back. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Because now, so you notice you come to Tennessee and no masks and it's normal life. Like Tennessee is 100% normal life again. California just announced that they were considering going back to indoor mask mandates because they've seen a little bit of a rise. And I think other cities that aren't like super on the Democratic liberal side are like, we're just going to figure out how to live with this now. And other ones are like locking back down. And so you guys, you say you're experiencing more like of the lockdown stuff in Canada?
Yeah, and there's a lot of places you can't go in unless you're masked. And then there are still people firing people who are unvaxxed or haven't met their mandates in terms.
Per later, they just announced that they're reinforcing their mask mandates and vaccine mandates.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So if you're not fully vaccinated, you lose your job at per later at Christmas time.
Wow. Yeah. Merry Christmas to us all.
Yeah.
It's not a Christmas miracle. That's fascinating. I've been thinking about COVID a lot like the last little bit because in our perspective, it's in the rear view, from where we live. And in Tennessee, we got it in the rear view a lot faster than other states because, I love the South, and we're like, I ain't doing that, and so it was just, we got back to normal life quicker. And so you don't think about it or feel it. But I was thinking when I heard this stuff in California, I was like, wow, that was a bad 2 years. And I'm so glad that we're beyond that. I literally was thinking just the other day, I'm so glad that's over and we don't have to ever deal with that again. But that's not the case.
Well, have you even seen like a drop in cases in Canada, or is it still high and that's why they're keeping the masks? No?
Yeah, well, there's a whole controversy on the whole testing and the different ways it was tested, and that's a big controversy. But I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinions and what they feel about it, but it's a hot button issue, and it's actually heating up as we speak.
Really?
Does it make you wish you lived in America?
Yep.
Yes.
John's been talking about moving.
Really?
I've been talking about looking at rental places, and she won't let me go. But,
what would that be like? Okay, so if you say you bought a rental place, then you could live here, like half
6
a
months
year?
a year. Yeah.
6 months a year, okay. Because I've looked at other countries too, not Canada.
You talked about Portugal. We've talked about Portugal too.
You want to move to Portugal?
Go. We'll be neighbors.
Yeah, that'd be great. I met the Clausens on a cruise a bunch of years ago, and I just loved them. Like, they were just cool people, and so it's like we've stayed in touch all these years. And so, Portugal, we looked at going to Portugal, looking at a trip. Last night we were looking at going there because I really want to go experience it. I've heard great things for expats and stuff. And you could live there 6 months, come back here for a few months, and then go back.
But that just goes to prove, like, when you complain about the whole COVID situation here in America,
right?
Clausens are here to show it could be a lot worse.
That's very true. I don't know where Portugal landed. I should ask. I should look into that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it could be worse there.
Portugal's good.
Are they? Okay, good. John's looked into it. Yeah, because but then I don't know if we're going to go because we're going to Kenya. And so I have to take a trip right before that because of my daughter's schedule. And so we were going to try to go. We would literally be in Portugal, come back for 5 days and then go to Kenya. And I'm like, I don't know. That's a lot of jet lag, man. So, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not this year. It might have to wait till later. But, so it is interesting, man. People deal with this stuff, so totally different. Now, I did notice that you have a box full of Canadian food. How did you get that through customs? Like... Oh, you did it. You snuck it in. There you go. I love it. I love it. What box? Shut up about the Canadian food, Wally. What is some of the treats in there? I love these things. Here, pick it up, Rock.
Oh, my gosh.
Try to lift with your knees. Lift with your back, Gavin.
Okay. Let me, move the, there we go. Okay. Okay, so we've got, hickory sticks.
Yes! Those are good.
I recall last time Betty Rock did not care for those at all. I remember that.
And that's so good because I love them.
Yeah, he'll be eating most of them. With it?
Oh,
it says they're what? Huh?
Remember, one side is always French and one side is English in our packaging.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's cool. That's really weird.
Government money.
Do you guys speak French?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you got your ketchup
We don't do
chips.
metric and we don't speak French.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, fantastic. Ketchup chips, I got to tell you, I don't know why it's taking us so long.
Dill pickle chips.
Oh, that's for
Those
Betty
are
Rock.
mine.
There you go.
Oh, more of the sticks and more of the... okay.
So
Canada
good.
Dry
Oh, that's funny.
and crushed cream soda.
Oh, yes.
What is this?
My wife loves cream soda.
Putin? Poutine.
Yes, poutine.
Not the Russian version.
No.
It's a Canadian one.
Yeah, now explain poutine because I was
Gravy on fries?
I was at Disney Springs.
True
and there is-
confessions, I've never had it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never had it.
Like, there's a whole stand of poutine, and I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
Never had it.
Is it like a
People love
gravy
it, but
on
it is, and
fries?
cheese too. So
Curds, cheese curds, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's disgusting to be
Oh,
honest.
really?
Like I would never eat
Cafe
it either.
mocha
I would never eat it, but there you
granola
go.
bars.
Oh, fantastic. Tim
Syrup?
Hortons. Oh, you need maple syrup. I'm a big fan.
Maple cookies.
Yes! Oh, my goodness. These are all my favorites.
Candies.
These are all my
and
favorites.
all dressed Lay's chips.
What does all dressed mean? Is that like a like vinegar and everything?
Everything?
Don't eat them, don't know.
What do you guys eat healthy? Do you not eat anything?
We actually do, and
Yeah.
and that would be the only issue is bringing healthy food across the border.
Right.
So you can't bring fruits, vegetables, any of that. It's just this stuff you can bring
That's
over
so
no
funny.
problem.
Trash.
Yeah, they're like, just poison our people. It doesn't matter.
Do you get shocked at the things that we have here in America? Like, does it seem super unhealthy?
So not. I mean, we have it too.
The portions are larger here.
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, portions are
way
way
larger.
larger.
Yeah, there
that
are a couple
explains a
places
lot.
like Cheesecake Factory
Yeah.
is huge portions. There's another place called Claim Jumper. Like if you're like, I'd like a steak, and they're like, which you normally, I'd like a cut of the cow, or like I'd like a T-bone or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just bring you the whole cow.
Yeah.
And like it comes out, and it's just so much food, and we waste so much too. Like we're kind of bad about that. Yeah, we're really bad about that.
No, it's A, right?
Hey, are you guys getting the pollution we're sending you? Are you
sending
have you seen that?
We're
Because
having so much climate
No,
change.
what's
We don't know
happening?
what to do.
we
with
have
it.
fans on the border. Have you seen that? Like,
No, I haven't.
yeah, they look like wind turbines,
Okay.
but they actually run them in the opposite direction. And so we're doing that. That's a big plan.
So you're bringing immigrants in from the south and sending the pollution to the north.
exactly.
Is
It
that
seems to be working.
it?
Is
works.
there any food in America that you look forward to getting when
What do you
you're
like
here?
about here?
We headed to Puckett's first thing when we got here.
Yes.
Puckett's is so
it's,
good.
Puckett's
deep
is a
fried
staple.
pickles
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it's a lot of the same food but cooked differently. And,
Yeah.
and, more love in it than what we have available.
Yeah, like the
That's so
mom
good.
and pop shops. Like
Yeah.
we just
Yes.
love that.
Yeah.
We walk through little towns that look like our Niagara on the Lake, and that's our oldest, town in our area. And it's just a little strip with really super expensive stores.
It's always
but you
been
have it
voted
everywhere.
like one of the top places to live in Canada, Niagara on the Lake. So it was, I think, one of our original capitals of our country.
Yeah.
So I asked Elizabeth last night when we were walking through Franklin, I said, what do you think in terms of comparison? She says Franklin is like Niagara on the Lake on Red Bull.
Oh, really?
But it's affordable.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
special. Yeah.
Oh, it's affordable?
like more affordable than Niagara-on-the-Lake.
It is
Oh,
because
right.
Franklin, like a tiny 1-bedroom, like a 2-bedroom little cottage there now is over $1 million
Yeah.
in Franklin, and so
Well,
it's
we're
like
not
that there.
talking rentals but stores,
Right.
like going to
Oh,
shop,
gotcha,
right, or
gotcha.
going to a restaurant, that type of thing. Yeah, we did notice that.
It's more expensive in
It is.
Canada.
To buy food, like
Yeah.
to go out for food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the
Really?
time, yeah.
Yeah, the
And it's not even really
portion
that great
sizes and
sometimes.
even the grocery stores, the sizes have all decreased in the last
Yeah.
couple of years. But
I do love learning about different cultures, and because there's all these things that we hear, we see news stories and stuff like that, and you don't really know. Like I had seen a thing. I was watching this. Mentioned Red Bull. I was watching a show on Red Bull, and it was about this guy that surfs in Ireland, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. It's so cold. But then they were talking about the lifestyle. He's a firefighter, but he pays almost 50% in taxes because they have so many social programs, and their tax structure is brutal. Like it's almost literally they're paying almost 50% of their wages go to all the social programs.
it's
Is
crazy.
Canada like that
Yeah.
too? Because I know you guys have socialized medicine and stuff.
well, we've got our government introduced the carbon tax, so I think it's almost up to 30% now,
Yeah.
which goes on all your utilities and everything. So that's an added tax
Wow.
to the typical sales tax and all that. So it's like utility bills. They say a lot of areas are going to increase 100% this winter.
Oh my
which is
goodness!
insane.
And now we're staring down the barrel of a recession. Is that the case for you guys
Huge.
too?
Yeah.
Oh, really? So we're kind of sharing that
We're
same burden.
all in this together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like it's created.
I read an
on
article
purpose.
the other
Yeah.
day. Somebody bought just an average townhouse. So it was about $1 million. So they got a high end mortgage, so low down payment.
Yeah.
I think they were in whatever 9.25. Just came up for renewal, so it was whatever a year. The appraisal came in now at like 825, 850.
Oh.
So they're only qualifying for like 700,000
Yeah.
now. So
Oh, wow.
that's going to be huge.
Yeah. We're going to go through a lot of that. We're going to see a pullback here too.
To go out of the important things, do you have a Waffle House in Canada? No? Have you been to a Waffle House?
Yeah.
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 It's
Waffle House is
wonderful,
good.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's good.
Now, why did you guys come in again? Your trip? Did you come in to see a show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lauren
we're going
did.
to Lauren Daigle tonight at
That's
the Ryman.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a great place. The Clausens, like they come to America to see a bunch of shows. Like they'll come in and see, different bands and stuff like that. They love all the
Next
artists and
month,
things
we're
like that.
volunteering at Passion in
Oh,
Atlanta.
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've done that like
Good
4 or
on
5
you
times.
guys. Well, that's awesome.
So this is their courtesy visit.
yeah.
Like,
No, they're the best. They're
gotta
like
figure it out.
they're like your friends that bring you food that you can't get otherwise. And I'll be face down in a bag of ketchup chips in no time. So
I've tried
good.
those. They are terrible.
They are so good.
They even smell bad.
No, they smell amazing. That's how I think. I picture heaven smelling like that bag of ketchup
That
chips.
reminds me. Have y'all been
Do
to
y'all believe in heaven in Canada?
Stop.
What is that?
Have y'all been to a Buccees gas station?
No.
We've heard you guys talk about
Yeah,
it.
you
a
gotta
lot.
do
Yeah,
it.
a
What
lot.
is it?
It's a gas station.
So not Bucky's, but not
it's a-
Stucky's, but Bucky's?
No, not Stuckies.
Okay.
Totally different.
It's got a beaver on it.
That's
And
their
they're
low
in Georgia,
mascot.
Texas,
Tennessee.
Alabama. They're in Tennessee, but they're pretty far.
Yeah, they're-
I drove 2 hours to one.
Wow.
But it's amazing. And it's America.
It's like 100 gas pumps. It's America at its finest and not so proudest.
It's
like,
great for people watching.
The people are great there. They love it. Like everyone there is kind. Like no one's jockeying and fighting and stuff. Everyone's getting along. I mean, you're getting brisket, you're getting cotton candy. It's a gas station that has like a gift store in it, and it like the cleanest restrooms.
Oh,
but
the
hundreds of
restrooms are
pumps.
amazing.
It is when you're traveling. It is the best place to stop.
And
We'll
you
be in
gotta-
Georgia next month.
you
so
gotta
yeah.
go.
And when
You
you,
have to go.
you have to buy the beaver nuggets.
They're good.
Okay, they're like these brown sugar.
Yeah, puffed corn thing. Yeah.
They're so good.
And the cotton candy taffy, and the brisket sandwich. I cannot say enough about
Wally ate a whole bag of
Yep.
their cotton candy taffy in less than 24 hours.
Yes, I did.
Nice.
And when I looked up the calorie intake and the sugar
Yeah.
intake, it explained a lot.
I could have actually done it faster, but there was a little guilt. I'm like, this probably isn't that healthy. You know what? Maybe I'll span this out overnight, and I'll pick this back up in the morning. I could have finished it all in one sitting. So good. All right, well, Rock, let's jump into some Aftercast stuff here.
All right. Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott. You know Kylie Jenner. She is the youngest of the crew, the Kardashian, the Jenner clan. But reports are that her and Travis Scott, which is her fiance, boyfriend, I'm not sure. Anyways, they both traveled. They flew from Miami to California, but in separate planes.
Oh, well, that's kind of
Separate
nice.
jets.
Like if my wife and I sometimes will go somewhere and we'll take separate cars because we need to go at different times, or I got to leave early or something like that.
And you might be thinking, well, what's the
separate
big deal?
jets is pretty great.
Well, a lot of people are making this a big deal because when you think about it, using a private jet, each flight uses over 15,000 pounds.
I see where you're going.
15,000 pounds of jet fuel.
Yeah.
And it produces 25 tons of carbon dioxide. So those who are worried about the climate change, the global warming, are saying, do you not care about the general public?
Yeah, no, they do not.
And some people are saying, no, they don't, because they have so much money, they don't have to worry about climate change, because if something happens, they can buy their way out of it.
It is. People that like tear into something on that, like a minute detail level like that, and they're like, oh, well, you know what? How about you don't drive your car this month, because you're doing the same thing. Like,
yeah, but it doesn't use that much fuel or create that much carbon dioxide.
It's such a sham. It's such a sham.
Are you saying you're on the Jenner side?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not.
Yes.
If they're going to the same place. Now, I'm not like going to get on the climate change bandwagon,
right.
But what I am saying is you're literally going to the same place and you pretty much live in the same area. Why not just go together?
And I get that, but what if, because they have a kid together, right? Two. Okay. What if you do not want to be on the same plane in case one of the plane crashes? Well, because then the kids aren't orphans. See,
but then one of them should.
Dead.
Well, one of them should get first class on a peasant plane.
Why? Why would you ever do that? That's even more dioxide going into the atmosphere.
Yeah, but at least more people are using it. No. This is a lot of fuel and a lot of dioxide just for one person.
The tree hugging granola people, that are like, they drive me nuts. They're like, they use their plane, and you know what? Horrible carbon footprint that is nothing compared to what China is doing in production every day. If you really, really, really want to stop global warming or climate change and all the other problems, you have to get India, and you got to get China, you got to get Russia, you got to all these countries that are really polluting the atmosphere to be on board.
I agree with you.
Their jet is not making a dent.
But what you're saying is,
but what I'm saying is that when these girls, when you get Kim, Courtney, Kylie, Kendall, I'm missing Chloe. Anyway, when you get them all together and they're the ones that are always being like, we can make a change and blah, 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 blah. They're in a state, they're on a pedestal, and a lot of people look up to them, sadly. And when you do that, a lot of your fans are the ones that are climate change worried. And so you can't be on this platform. You can't be on this platform preaching to people and then not living up to it. Because you look like you're a
hypocrite. Yeah. If I had a private jet, I would be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to take it up for a couple laps today.
And you can. And I'm sure that there are
just for fun.
There are a bunch of millionaires and billionaires that probably do that all the time. The difference is that we don't know because they don't have a platform. They're not on social media posting about anything and everything. Right. But that was their call. They put themselves in that position, and they're going to be critically accused of everything.
I do get if you're the one, if you have made climate change a hot button for you and you take two jets, I understand the hypocrisy of that. But again, like you, because you're so good at this, Lady Rock, you are so good at seeing all sides of the story and not judging people. That's what I love about you, is your heart for people. And
you have that stupid look on your face.
No, and just wanting to make sure
what are you trying to say?
that people aren't being judged erroneously. And so this is a time where I'm like, you know know what I'm learning from her? We might not know the whole story. There might have been a really good reason that they needed to do that. They possibly were, one of the planes had to fly a sick child to another place and make a quick stop and or deliver an organ to somebody. We just don't know, you know?
That's true. We don't know the whole story.
And
You're right.
Thank you for changing me, and thank you for helping me to be a better person.
It's been a 15-year battle, but I'm finally seeing the fruits of my labor.
You're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there. We're working through it. Hey, did you guys know that Ashton Kutcher has a twin brother?
Yes.
No way.
No, I did not know this either.
Yeah.
What does he do?
He has, he didn't have the same path as Kutcher did because they're twins, and he has, I think he has CP, right?
He has something.
Yeah, he has CP. He has, my nephew has that. And so, he had to have a heart transplant and had random blood clots, and, his health has been, a disaster for him. And it's interesting because they were doing an interview about this, and there was a time where their relationship was strained, but it was strained because Ashton felt guilty for having success and then his twin brother's life going a different direction.
I get that.
I
makes
totally
sense.
get that, you know?
Yeah, because it was just a luck of the draw.
Right.
You know, what was the difference between me and him?
Right. Why do I deserve to not have the health issues?
It's kind of like that survivor's guilt where you're the one that survives, but everyone else passed. You're why?
What's really interesting about this is a lot of times if you see families that have a child that has special needs, the opposite happens. The child with special needs gets all the attention because they kind of need it. Mm-hmm. And then the child that doesn't have that feels ostracized, left out, hurt, alone. That's a story I know that I'm not making up. People who have been in that situation have told me. And so it's interesting that Kutcher's life went to a very successful place and that he carried that guilt. And it was interesting too because he said, he was revisiting an exchange that happened when his brother visited him, and he was doing well, and he said his brother looked at him and said, every time you feel sorry for me, you make me less. This is the only life I've ever known, so stop feeling sorry for the only thing I have. And he said that created a shift back for them where he started to think of this differently and see his brother as equals again, and it took away some of the guilt. His brother kind of let him off the hook for that, but was very direct with him.
That's very healthy.
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm oh, that's kind of a cool story that I had no idea existed.
I'd love to hear their parents' side of things, how they feel about it all.
Oh, for sure. What do you got for birthdays, Lady Rock?
We've got one, and it is from Rachel today. Rachel is celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday,
Yay,
Rachel! She said, I'm a junior in high school. I love to rock climb.
Ooh,
I work
sweet.
at Chick-fil-A. Hey, Rachel, hook us up. Y'all always make me laugh. Thank you for putting out the podcast. She has a fantastic question. I need
ready.
you to grab your phones, and I need you to unlock them.
Uh-oh.
And then I need you to answer this question.
Okay.
If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your phone,
Oh, man.
Boy.
which ones would you keep and why?
Which would I keep?
Yeah.
Only 3?
You can only keep 3.
I can answer.
Obviously TikTok.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one's staying on there.
TikTok is staying.
I've found I'm like a 14-year-old girl. I don't think I could function without that. I could live without oxygen and water.
Well, and I agree with you because TikTok, you can use it on your computer, but it's not near as good. You can't create videos on your computer.
And you need to be distracted. I love some of my games, but I would let those go for sure. Camera, because I want to take pictures of things.
I don't even think of
family
that
and
as being
friends.
an app.
But it kind of
right
is.
there, yeah.
It kind of is.
But now you're down to TikTok, your camera, and then
I got one more.
I mean,
man.
if you delete your photos, can you ever see your photos?
I'm not too personally attached to most of my photos.
Well, what's the point in taking photos if you're never going to see them?
Oh, so if you're going to have the camera app, you have to have the photo app, is what you're saying.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Well, that shouldn't count.
I don't know. But then again, you got to weigh this out. Are there apps that you have on your phone? Yes, it's easier to go on your phone, but if you delete them, you can go on the desktop.
Because social media, I wouldn't hold on to any of my social media because I can do it on my laptop and my
That's
computer.
something to consider.
Yeah.
And with your photos, you could get on your iCloud and look at them there, but that's going to be a pain.
I'm going to go maps. I need that for getting around.
That's
smart.
the only way we do things.
I was thinking back.
That's
I
smart.
used to be in an era where you would actually have a map, a regular map, and then it was like Map Quest, and now your phone. And now, like before you were going on a trip, when I was younger, you were going on a trip, say, okay, kids, we're going to go to Disney. My dad would lay out a map, and he would show us the route, and he would mark it with a highlighter, and we'd mark the stops we were going to make along the way. And then there were times if we had to get off, my mom would be looking for different routes. Like that was like you planned it, and you thought about it. You were intentional. And now it's like, oh, we're going to go to Florida today. All right, let's go put the address in, and we'll just get there. Like we take it for granted how much we use that thing, and so I would definitely use that.
See, I'm gonna be messed up because I need my texting.
Oh yeah.
I need my texting.
I know. Yeah. I just don't think of that as being like this like whole conversation doesn't feel like it should apply to like the super basic stuff.
Nope, it has to.
It has to. So texting,
okay,
but then I'm also, and this is where you messed yourself up, Wally. You didn't keep your contacts. So how are you going to call anybody because you won't know anybody's numbers?
Oh, that's right. I'm going to have to learn numbers again, and I'm kind of like losing my memory.
You'll just stop talking to people.
And the way to speak.
Yeah, I'm losing all of that.
So I think... See, now I'm thinking TikTok, I'm just going to have to go on the website. I'm going to have to watch it on the website.
That's
and it's going to stink, but I'm going to have to do it. So texting, yes. And if I keep my texting, I need to keep my contacts because if someone's texting me, I don't know who it is if it doesn't have the contacts.
Mm-hmm. It is an app.
Yeah.
Is it not just considered like the phone?
No, but it's all like you got to push. Anything you have to push, we're considering that an app, not a function of the phone.
And two, I need my clock for my alarm. But then again, I'm just going to have to get an old
Right, yeah,
one and figure it out.
Yeah, you can work around that by going old school with the ring.
And then my Bible app, because let's be honest, I check that out every day.
Nice.
That's funny.
I'll just have to look at my actual
your actual Bible. Yeah. Yeah.
But then I need the GPS because I am directionally challenged. I mean, you didn't have to agree, but I just said it's for sure something that I need. So you know what? Okay, final decision. I'm going with my texting, my contacts, and my GPS.
Okay, well there you go.
But then what about my Spotify?
Yeah, you're done.
You got
done.
a radio. You got a radio.
Listen to radio, you knucklehead.
Oh gosh,
remember that thing we do for a living? Remember that?
Okay. Are you final?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're keeping your TikTok.
I'm keeping my
TikTok.
Despite
the fact that you don't know how to call your wife.
Don't care.
At least you have TikTok.
TikTok is the best. And
so you have TikTok, your maps, and what else?
What was it? TikTok, my maps, and my camera.
Your camera.
I like taking photos.
Gavin?
I'm going to say that I'm going to keep texting, contacts/phone. That's like the same thing. I think I'm just going to go like per par with you, Betty. Like, I think I do need the maps. Like, I don't even have a printer at home, so I couldn't print directions out if I needed to get somewhere.
True.
I'd have to do it from here.
You would have to take your well, no, the laptop wouldn't even work.
Yeah.
No, that's tough.
Yeah, so that is such a great question. As I look at everything like that I use but I wouldn't need, like all of my games, my airport apps, like that would be a bummer. Like when you're checking in,
you have to actually get a paper.
You have to go get a ticket.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't accessed my bank via like my laptop or anything for like ever.
Yeah.
Like I've used my phone for my bank for years now.
Me too. Oh. And then Amazon as well.
Venmo, Cash App. Like
Amazon,
so many.
I don't use the
app.
The app. I just do it online. I just go through Safari.
But but it goes to show how dependent we are on.
I forgot about my Stealth Abs app. I forgot about that.
You don't use that.
I forgot about
that. If you forgot about it, you obviously don't need
okay, we can let that one go. That one can go.
All right, guys.
Speaking of memory, boy,
we weren't speaking.
We were earlier. Oh man, I hit a new small group low last night. They asked me to pray because I always play a joke like, "Hey, anyone want to pray?" And I'm like, "Oh, my wife Marty would love to." And then they're kind of like, "Ah."
Is it funny every time?
Not well, I don't do it every time. I only do it when it feels right. And so then last night, one of the ladies was like, "Well, Wally, why don't you pray?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, it's okay. I don't want to take that from somebody else." Like, and God would recognize their voice better than mine, probably. And
you're like,
so,
who's this?
Yeah,
new number?
Hello. I know. So I'm like, somebody else should probably do it. And they're like, no, I really think you should do it. And they just kept on me like, no, I really think you should do it. And I'm like, all right, look, full disclosure, when you guys were doing prayer requests, I checked out.
Oh, so bad.
Like, I'm like the most honest person, like in small group and stuff, and it's not always popular. But I'm like, I checked out. Because the minute my wife did traveling mercies, because you know that's a pet peeve for me.
Did she?
She did. Like she did. Like, and like, I'm like, what? Because we're in small group, and my wife says, hey, please don't crash our plane. The Lord's not going to crash our plane that day. Or because somebody throws, like, I just don't believe that.
Does she know that this is a pet peeve of yours?
Yes. We've talked about it. And so when she busted out traveling mercies early on, I checked out. And then there were other serious ones, and I'm like, I could not remember them.
You are not God. You cannot judge what is important to legitimize a prayer request.
Conversation.
I know.
God.
Like, I get it. I get what you're saying. And this is why I fully recognize that I'm the worst person in small group.
Yet it doesn't stop you.
Well, I'm just wired this way. Like, I don't know how to unwire this.
That's an excuse.
I don't know how to unwire it. God made me this way for a reason. And maybe that was...
He made you hurtfully honest?
Maybe he made me this way for a reason because he's tired of traveling mercy prayer requests. And it's my mission and my goal in life to stop this.
Or is the flip side of this that he gave us free will and you are just choosing not to care about those
definitely
situations for people? I don't think they're all worth caring about.
What if the Clausens are needing to fly back to Canada, and they're a little bit worried, a little bit anxious, and they're saying, hey, Wally, could you pray for us because we're a little bit anxious about this flight?
There's the difference right there. I could say, hey, John, I would definitely pray that God would give you peace and comfort during this, but I can't pray for God to not crash your plane.
Because I don't care.
Because you're just on your own. Like, this is where it's either going to happen or it's not. Like, I don't think that me, like, last minute going, praying for this litany of things and then going, traveling mercies for the Clausens. Like, I don't think, God, how is God going to honor that prayer that you throw in and you tack on to something that doesn't mean anything, you know? But if I sit there and I go to God and I say, look, I know that my friend is worried about this. You know, I pray that you'd give him peace in the midst of this, and give him a really calm mind if you decide to take his plane down.
Okay, next question. Because you said, Marty, your wife brought up traveling mercies, and then they asked you to pray.
Yes.
Did you pray for traveling mercies for your wife?
I did not. Because I can't say it and then be a hypocrite and do it. Like, I can't. So, no, I did not.
So what did you say instead?
Oh, it was a bunch of generic stuff. Because I hadn't heard enough of the other prayer requests, like, to do it. And I even told them, full disclosure, I said, look, this is going to be really generic. If you want me to do this, I got no problem doing it. Well, but it's not going to be great.
The hope is that the other people in the group, like, heard it and take that prayer home with them. It's not about
what they said.
It's not about someone else's responsibility.
It's not about the closing prayer.
I see.
That's what they said. They were like, you know what? It's fine. You know, God knows all the needs. And then I was like, well, why are we doing this then? But, you know, so yeah, I am a delight at small group. So
at least you
take naps.
I fall asleep in small
out.
group. I'm the worst. Look, I get it. I am the worst person in small group. I fully understand that.
But you do go.
I'm not a big fan of small group. I'll be honest with you. And I like the people. And we just had dinner last night. We weren't even doing small group stuff. And I like the people. I really do. I had a good time at the dinner party part of it, you know.
Of course.
It was great. He made these sausages with bacon wrap.
That's all that you care about.
And sugar
but
on them.
When it comes to people's feelings or what they care about,
he remembers the food.
I remember the food vividly, and it was so good. I'm going to make it for you guys on Friday because it was so good. And I was very thankful for that. I might have said thank you, Lord. But no, I don't live in that other world well, you know.
You choose not to live in that area well.
You say that, but like, this is like telling somebody who has anxiety, just don't be anxious. Like, I mean, it literally is that. You say, well, why don't you just be different? Why don't you just have more faith? Or why don't you just do this? Why don't you just change your viewpoint on that? But that literally is like telling somebody that's super anxious to say, well, just worry less. Because they're wired that way.
So what is your super anxiousness then? Like yours, of course, isn't.
Mine's not anxious, right?
Right. What would yours be? Like if someone's saying stop being blob, just be happy.
Mine would, like, if you're going on that direction, mine would be like stop being negative. Like don't always see the worst in things. Stop being negative. Just be positive.
But you're saying God made you negative. and able to see the worst in everything.
I'm not saying necessarily. I wouldn't say that God. That's a tough call because God could have made me in that vein. People are broken. People have miswirings in them for all kinds. I could be miswired in this way that He made us for joy and to be happy, and I'm just not always that way. And so inside of that. Is there a broken part of that? Possibly. Or did He make me a realist? Because you still need realists in this world.
Oh, for sure.
You need optimists, you need pessimists, and you need realists. Like, I think we need all of those dynamics, all of those colors.
The question is, what does a healthy realist look like and an unhealthy realist
Absolutely.
look like?
I know that I have become different than I was. So is it possible to go back to who I was as a kid? Possibly. Like, I was way more positive and I saw more good when I was younger. For sure. I got super jaded in my career and parts of my faith and just in life. Like, so full disclosure, there are parts of me that I know I am completely culpable in letting it get to a certain point. Absolutely. But then there is a part of me that's like, sometimes you're just wired a certain way with a certain disposition to something. My mom is wired for happy. She is wired for, like, the glass is half full. Everything is a wonderful new experience for her. Everything is great. Like, and I wish I could be that.
But I think when it comes to, like you were saying, like, just stop being anxious or whatever. Yeah, like, you don't need to tell somebody that, but you would like to see them actively working on trying not to just welcome anxiety into your life.
And just don't live in that.
And just become a victim to it.
I absolutely get that.
And so that's the same in your case. Not becoming a victim of, well, that's just how I'm wired. That's just how I'm going to be.
Right.
But instead seeing, like, yeah, maybe you are prone to being active, but at least I'm seeing you try to be positive.
No, I get that. That's a good point.
Thank you.
Could
you pray for my traveling mercies?
I will not. This is why I'm glad we do this on the Aftercast, because if we had said that on the radio, the phones would have lit up and I'm going to hell and I'm sending other people to hell. And like, it's so horrible.
And it doesn't go with the Christmas music, honestly.
No, it does not.
There's traveling mercies.
There is part of me that it's funny because we've had people in our company that are like, I'd like you to do another podcast that's the Wally show podcast unfiltered, and I'm like, nope, you do not want that. Like, there is no way that's going to be good for anybody. If you unleash the full side of my brain, not going to be healthy.
But imagine if you were on the healthy side of it. That might be helpful.
Yeah, but I'll never be on that side of it.
It's too late.
Yeah, that ship has sailed. He's right.
No,
Gavin's absolutely right.
That's my realistic opinion, is that you don't want to change.
Right.
I don't think you have to, se, because I think you do enough, like, positive to outweigh what people view as being a negative.
See, this is this guy. I love this guy. He's not an enabler at all.
Let's go. I'm sure the Clausens are ready to
He is
leave.
The absolute best.
All right.
I love this kid. This kid, like, you're always like, you need to be better. You need to change. And Gavin's like, I like you just the way you are.
No, I just don't want you sitting in your negative Nelliness.
No. And I know that, like, being negative can drag everyone around me down. And that's hard. And I know you constantly are trying to, like, keep me out. Because I know when you get negative, then it affects me.
Right.
And so, and
you don't
vice
want me
versa.
sitting in that.
Exactly. And vice versa. It's actually better for the show, too. And that's what the be-all, end-all for me is the show, pretty much. And so that's all I got.
That's all he cares about.
It's what he is.
Yeah, it's that.
Work.
This is me. I mean, this is me. And so I appreciate the help that you have given me over the years. So with that,
can you call this one Traveling Mercies?
Oh, that's a good idea.
38 minutes of that and a little bit of therapy along the way and probably some blasphemy. So there you go. There is your entire Aftercast in a nutshell.